The Sengoku Jidai, often translated as the Warring States period, was a turbulent era in Japanese history lasting from the mid-15th century to the early 17th century. This period was marked by social upheaval, military conflict, and political intrigue as regional daimyo, or feudal lords, battled for power following the weakening of the central Ashikaga shogunate. Characterized by constant warfare and shifting alliances, the Sengoku Jidai set the stage for the unification of Japan, culminating in the pivotal Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. The significance of the Sengoku Jidai lies in its role as a transformative period that led to the rise of the Tokugawa shogunate. It was an era that shattered the old order and paved the way for a new, centralized form of governance. The constant conflict necessitated innovations in military tactics and fortifications, notably the construction of robust castles like Azuchi Castle by Oda Nobunaga, designed to withstand sieges and project power. These castles became symbols of military and administrative control, helping unify the nation under strong leadership. Examples of this period's influence are manifold. The rise of Oda Nobunaga, one of the key figures during the Sengoku Jidai, showcases how consolidation of power was achieved through military strategy and alliances. Nobunaga's campaign to unify the country disrupted traditional feudal allegiances and set the groundwork for his successor, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who continued this unification process through policies that sought to pacify the warrior class. Another example is the introduction of firearms, transformed military engagements, and altered the strategies employed by armies in battle, demonstrating the era's importance as a crucible of change. Opinions on the Sengoku Jidai's impact vary, with some scholars viewing it as a necessary period of upheaval that led to stability and growth under Tokugawa rule. Others argue the cost of endless warfare took a toll on social structures and ordinary people's lives, suggesting a more nuanced evaluation of its legacy. One major controversy surrounds the romanticization of this era in Japanese culture, often overshadowing the suffering and instability experienced by the populace. Additionally, some might argue that the period's military and technological advances came at an immense human cost. The Sengoku Jidai is integral to understanding the Battle of Sekigahara and the subsequent rise of Tokugawa Ieyasu. This era's disarray effectively set the stage for Ieyasu's final consolidation of power, illustrating how periods of chaos can lead to new orders and significant societal restructuring. Through understanding this period, one gains insights into how conflict can act as a catalyst for change, setting the stage for future political and cultural development in Japan. The period leading up to the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, marking the end of the Sengoku Jidai, the Warring States period in Japan, was characterized by a complex and turbulent political landscape. This era of constant military conflict and social upheaval began in the mid-15th century, as centralized power under the Ashikaga shogunate weakened, leading to a fracturing of authority and a scramble for territory and influence among the daimyōs, powerful military lords. By the late 16th century, Japan was a patchwork of rival domains, each governed by daimyōs who were constantly vying for supremacy. The political landscape was marked by a lack of central control, alliances formed and broken with rapidity, and an ongoing struggle for dominance. The significance of understanding the political landscape before Sekigahara lies in its role in setting the stage for the unification of Japan under the Tokugawa shogunate. This chaotic period laid the groundwork for pivotal alliances and enmities that influenced the battle's outcome and, consequently, the future of Japan. Notably, the figures of Tokugawa Ieyasu and Ishida Mitsunari emerged as central players. Ieyasu, a shrewd and ambitious daimyo, capitalized on these turbulent times, forging key alliances to enhance his power base. Meanwhile, Mitsunari, taking up the cause to preserve Toyotomi Hideyoshi's legacy, sought to counterbalance Ieyasu's influence. Examples illustrating this complexity include the Ashikaga shogunate's diminishing control, highlighting the fracturing power dynamics, and the rise of exceptional leaders like Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, both of whom made significant, though ultimately partial, strides toward reunification. The former's strategic acumen and the latter's diplomatic skills showcased attempts to impose order on chaos, but also set the stage for the eventual Tokugawa ascendancy. Opinions from historians underscore that this period was both a blood-soaked struggle and a crucible for the eventual emergence of a unified Japan. However, the transitions of power were fraught with challenges. Controversies persist over Tokugawa Ieyasu's tactics, which some view as opportunistic. Moreover, alternative viewpoints suggest that the alliances before Sekigahara were as much a product of circumstance as of strategy, raising questions about the deterministic nature of historical progress. Ultimately, the political landscape preceding Sekigahara was a critical juncture, directly influencing Ieyasu's rise and the end of the Sengoku Jidai. It connects deeply with the themes of power consolidation, the impermanence of alliances, and the quest for stability and unification, forming a prelude to the enduring peace of the Tokugawa era. The major figures and factions in the conflict during the end of the Sengoku Jidai, particularly around the pivotal Battle of Sekigahara, played a crucial role in shaping Japanese history by paving the way for the establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate. This heading highlights the dynamic interactions between the key leaders and the alliances they formed, which profoundly influenced the battle's outcome and the subsequent political landscape of Japan. The significance of understanding these figures and factions lies in their direct impact on the power shift from the warring states to a united Japan under the Tokugawa clan. Warriors and strategists such as Tokugawa Ieyasu and Ishida Mitsunari are central, with their conflicting visions and military strategies leading to one of the most decisive battles in Japanese history. Tokugawa Ieyasu emerged victorious, marking the start of a 250-year period of relative peace and stability known as the Edo period. A real-world illustration of these dynamics is the alliance-building efforts seen prior to Sekigahara. For example, Ieyasu's strategic marriages and political maneuverings, like his careful nurturing of powerful daimyo relationships, laid the groundwork for a unified front against his rivals. In contrast, Ishida Mitsunari's coalition comprised those loyal to the posthumous cause of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, yet internal dissent and lack of cohesion hampered their effectiveness. Opinions on the roles of these figures can vary. Many historians credit Tokugawa Ieyasu's adaptability and foresight as pivotal in achieving victory and long-term stability. Conversely, some argue that Mitsunari's failure was more due to internal strife and betrayal within his ranks, rather than mere military inferiority, highlighting the complexity of human factors in warfare. Challenges in this narrative arise from the fact that historical records may be biased, with Tokugawa-led sources often painting Mitsunari and his allies in a negative light. Additionally, alternative viewpoints suggest that local skirmishes and regional power plays could have influenced the power dynamics more significantly than traditionally credited. These figures and their factions connect intricately to broader themes like loyalty, strategy, and governance, underscoring the element of human agency in history. They influenced not only the political realignment, but also cultural and social shifts, as the Tokugawa regime promoted Neo-Confucianism and societal structures that shaped Japan into what it eventually became. Their story underscores the complexities of leadership and coalition building, which are timeless elements in both historical and modern contexts. The Battle of Sekigahara, fought on October 21, 1600, stands as a defining moment in Japanese history, marking the conclusion of the Sengoku Jidai, or Warring States period, and setting the stage for the rise of the Tokugawa shogunate. This battle was not merely a clash of armies, but a calculated engagement of strategies that determined the future political landscape of Japan. The engagement took place in the fog-shrouded fields of Sekigahara in central Japan, where approximately 160,000 soldiers met in one of the largest samurai battles recorded. Leading the Eastern Army was Tokugawa Ieyasu, while Ishida Mitsunari commanded the Western Army. The significance of this battle cannot be overstated. Ieyasu's victory solidified his power, allowing him to establish the Tokugawa shogunate, which would rule Japan for over 250 years. This battle effectively ended the protracted period of civil unrest and ushered in the Edo period, characterized by peace, stability, and isolationist policies. In the realm of strategies, Tokugawa Ieyasu's cunning diplomacy and tactical acumen were pivotal. He secured the loyalty of key Western Army generals, such as Kobayakawa Hideyoshi, whose defection during the battle was a decisive turning point. Ieyasu's ability to anticipate and adapt to battlefield developments highlights his strategic genius. Real-world applications of these strategies can be observed in modern military tactics that emphasize intelligence and psychological operations, underscoring the timeless relevance of understanding alliances and morale. Scholars and historians often praise Ieyasu's ability to consolidate power through strategic marriages, land distribution, and a centralized bureaucratic system, which effectively minimized the risk of future regional conflicts. However, some critiques suggest that his methods undermined certain daimyōs' autonomy, sparking dissent among those who were marginalized by the new power structure. Alternative viewpoints consider Ishida Mitsunari's strategies, arguing that his failure stemmed from both miscommunications and a lack of cohesive leadership, offering a lesson in the importance of unified command. These challenges underscore the complexities of large-scale military engagements, where even the most meticulous plans can be derailed by human elements and unforeseen circumstances. Ultimately, the Battle of Sekigahara connects intricately with the broader narrative of Japan's transition from disorder to order. It exemplifies how decisive military strategies can shape political destinies, influence governance structures, and impact the socio-economic fabric of a nation for centuries. Understanding this battle provides insight not only into Japan's past, but also into the enduring dynamics of power and leadership.